far more robust in how they've approached it since. But to directly address the minister's point, the benefit of a committee process with a range of witnesses able to challenge and highlight the assumptions that have been made, highlighted that that GenCost report, the 2018 GenCost report, was not based on any robust analysis of the facts of the cost even of generation of electricity, let alone an analysis of the likely price to the consumer. So I'll leave that there, but I'm hoping that that actually completely debunks the minister's assertion that there is no value to a parliamentary inquiry because estimates has not worked, which he proposed it would, and a parliamentary committee did highlight that in this particular domain, the CSIRO did not have expertise, and the path they went down to deliver figures proved on the public record to not be robust. So why do I support this? Well, partly because I believe...
All right, now I want to talk about my silent clip, about the satellite comments there. Now, what do you reckon, everybody? You may have talked about the positive and negative about things. Now we got grown up to look at things like that. So why do we not still look at things like that in the big scale? We should. Definitely over time. You look back and you go, let's make a decision. What's going on here? What's happening here? What does it benefit the most? How much does it really benefit? Is it causing problems as well as the benefits? What's all these things? And then you look at it and you go, perhaps we don't really need satellites. Perhaps satellites are causing an issue. Perhaps we only need just a few, right, than what they believe they need out there. Perhaps we need another way of communication instead of satellites. Perhaps a lot of things, hey. But the first thing they need to show is what's the positive list and how much does that positive list outdo, besides how many's there, the negative one, right? Satellites, hey? Form of control. That's why they're pumping more and more up there. That's how they see it too. And when you see that they see it like that, is it still a good idea? You let me know in comments. Do you love the toys? Do you agree with things because you wouldn't want to miss what's on that list? There's a couple of things on that list. Could you miss it for a better way of living? You know the old saying, if you don't see, you don't want? Is it better for humans to have that? Do you believe over time and in the history of humans that it's better that we do get controlled and that we need more controlling even though we're adults to make sure that we're still doing what we do? Do we need a team of elders? Why did cultures have a team of elders? Because they were wise for the people for real. And they would give you wise decisions no matter what. And wise opinions. Right? That's what they do. So who's our wise men? Who are our old wise men? They say our leaders need to be old, as they are technically meant to be like our old wise men, aren't they? They do say when it comes to education that you don't need to be older to be educated. Do people still look at people that if you're older, you're more educated? That is not true at all. Right? In fact, a lot of people get to a certain age and pretty much just repeat what they do. So they're not learning. Right? And in fact, with science and reality, they will lose what they know if they don't use it. So all they become is the circle and a habit of that cycle, you see. That's what humans are good at. If you know human psychology, that's how you can fix human psychology. But instead of fixing it, if you know human psychology, you can play and control it instead. What do you see the world and the psychology is doing out there when it comes to those areas? Do you believe they cause problems to make you believe that you need psychology so they can come in with these words of intimidation and control? Things to think about when it comes to certain areas, isn't it? But anyway, you let me know your opinion on satellites. I've talked about it before. Satellites is connected to the internet. A lot of the internet is ran through satellites. You don't need to have certain satellites to run an internet. It's just a way of doing it. It's also a way of, once it's up there, it's protected from the weather and other things like that. But it also makes it harder to deal with the situation. Anyway, have a good one, everybody. Oh, and when it comes to 2-in-1 as well, with my comment on that satellite, silent thumbs up, eh? And that's not thumbs up for the cancellation. That's just thumbs up that I had a feeling that satellites need an issue, and they've got an issue, and perhaps we will sort it out with a tissue. And so I now want to talk about phones, 2-in-1. Now we have phones, and we talk about safety. This is a simple thing. So why don't phones record and have sound when you're on the phone? Is that because they use the same microphone for the phone, so you can't record? If that's true, how much more does it cost to have another microphone for safety, so people can be on the phone with one phone and call the police and video record and hear the voice as it's necessary in court, because video is barely usable for anything? For safety reasons, do you think that's a good idea? Would you out there buy a phone that can do that, everybody, than the phone that gives you no sound when you're on the phone with someone? You let me know in comments. I know what phone I would buy. I'd certainly buy the one that you can record 2-in-1, and it has that extra little hole with an extra little mic, so you can do that. What do you reckon? But apparently, in a world that's just full of money and envy and greed and don't really care about you, what would you see? You would see a phone that doesn't have that. But you would hear about all the propaganda they've got to say about safety. You see? So have a good one, and see you later.